Hello, good day everyone. We are the Group 3 and our report is about global demography. Hello.
Global demography. Global demography refers to the statistical study of the world's population, including its size, growth, distribution, and changes over time. It examines trends such as birth, death rates, fertility, migration, and aging to understand how human populations evolve and what challenges or opportunity these changes bring. To add up to global demography, as of 2025, the global population is around 8.2 billion, growing at a slower rate of about 0.8% per year, and is expected to reach 9.7 billion by 2050. This slowdown is mainly due to the declining birth rates across many regions. Asia remains the most populous continent, while Africa experiences the fastest growth. In contrast, Europe and East Asia face declining populations due to the low fertility rates and aging societies. The global fertility rate has dropped to 2.25 from 3.3 in 1990, with many nations now below the replacement level of 2.1 children per woman. As a result, the median age of the world's population continues to rise, and peoples are living longer thanks to improvements in healthcare and living standards. Urbanization and migration also shapes today's demographic landscape. About 58% of people now live in cities, and there are over 300 million international migrants worldwide. These shifts include infrastructure, employment, and cultural diversity. However, global demography presents key challenges. Aging populations require more healthcare and pensions. Low and negative growth affects labor markets and economies. And rapid growth in developing countries strain education, housing, and job opportunities. Policymakers around the world must adapt to these demographic changes to ensure sustainable development and balanced population management.
Hello everyone, my name is Alin Gerard M. Garcia, and today I will be talking about our topic, the perils of overpopulation. So, overpopulation happens when the number of people grow faster than the resources available. It affects food, water, shelter, and overall quality of life. Today, there are over 8 billion people in the world, and the number keep rising. So, overpopulation means too many people living with limited resources. Because of this, there is not enough food, water, and space for everyone, making daily life more difficult. If population growth is not controlled, it can cause serious social and environmental problems. Next, causes of overpopulation. High birth rates and better healthcare make people live longer. Because healthcare has improved, fewer people get sick and more babies survive, so the population grow faster. Next, lack of family planning and education lead to large families. When people do not have enough information about family planning, they often have more children than they can support. And lastly, migration to cities also increase crowding in urban areas. Meaning of this, many people move to cities to find jobs and better opportunities, which causes overcrowding in urban areas. Next, resources depletion. More people mean more demand for food, water, and energy. So, as the population increase, more food, water, and electricity are needed, which puts pressure on natural resources. Next, forests are cut down and clean water resources run out. Animals lose their habitats. Any of these to meet human needs. Forests are destroyed and water resources are overused, causing animals to lose their homes. Lastly, this leads to environmental damage and climate problems. Because resources are used too much, the environment is damaged and climate issues like pollution and global warming become worse. Next, environmental effect. Overpopulation causes pollution and waste problems. This means that when there are too many people, more trash is produced and more resources are used. Because of this, garbage piles up, population increase, and the environment becomes dirty. Next is more cars and factories create dirty air and water. As the number of cars and factories increase, they release smoke and harmful chemicals. These pollutants go into the air we breathe and into rivers and oceans, making the air and water unsafe for humans, animals, and plants. And lastly, it also increases global warming and loss of biodiversity. Pollution and deforestation trap heat in the atmosphere, causing global warming. As temperature rise, many plants and animals lose their natural habitats, which leads to decrease in biodiversity or the variety of living organisms on Earth. Next, social and economic effect. Too many people can lead to unemployment and poverty. So meaning, when a place has too many people, there are not enough jobs for everyone. This leads to unemployment and many families experience poverty because of low or no income. Next, there are not be enough schools, hospitals, or houses. So, overcrowding makes it difficult to provide enough schools, hospitals, and housings. As a result, people struggle to access education, healthcare, and proper shelter. Lastly, crowded cities often face health and sanitarian problems. In very crowded areas, sanitation system cannot handle the population. This causes dirty surroundings and increase the risk of disease. Next, these are the solutions. Promote education, especially for young people and families. Support family planning and responsible parenthood. Use resources wisely and protect nature through sustainable living. Next, these are the conclusion. Overpopulation is one of the biggest challenges our world faces. If we act together and care for our planet, we can prevent more damage. Everyone has a role to play in creating a better, balanced future for all. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Chris Angelo Evangelista, and today I will be discussing an important and timely topic, which is women and reproductive rights. Women and reproductive rights refer to the freedom, power, and ability of women to make informed decisions about their reproductive health. This includes deciding whether to have children, when to have them, and how many children they want to have. These decisions are deeply personal and have a major impact on a woman's physical health, emotional well being, and overall quality of life. Rep- Reproductive rights also means that women should have access to safe, affordable, and respectful healthcare services. So these services include family planning and contraception, prenatal and maternal care, safe childbirth and sexual education, and also protection from discrimination, violence, or forced pregnancy. So, in short, reproductive rights allow women to have control over their own bodies and to make choices that are best for their lives, health, and future. Now, let's move on to why it matters. So, why does it matters? Nganong importante man ang women's reproductive rights? First one is it promotes gender equality and women's empowerment as it ensures equality between men and women. So, women's reproductive rights help promote gender equality because they allow women to have the same control over their bodies and lives as men do. But without these rights, women might be forced into early marriage, frequent pregnancies, or roles that limit their opportunities. So when women can decide when or whether to have children, they have equal chances to study, work, and participate in society where men exist. And and also this empowerment um this empowerment helps reduce poverty, improve family well-being, and strengthen communities. Now, the second one is reproductive rights protect women's health and safety. The access to reproductive health care, such as contraceptions, prenatal care, and safe delivery, greatly reduces the risk of maternal deaths and serious health complications. Without proper medical care, women may experience unsafe abortions, childbirth complications, or untreated infections that can lead to long-term health problems or even death. So by protecting reproductive rights, we are protecting women from preventable illnesses and life-threatening situations. Now the third one is reproductive rights allow women to plan their future when women can because when women can decide when to have children, they can better manage their education, career goals, and family responsibilities. And they are also able to prepare financially, emotionally, and physically for motherhood. And this freedom allows women to shape their own futures rather than being limited by unplanned pregnancies, social pressure, or lack of support. And finally, um, reproductive rights, uphold basic human rights. Reproductive rights are part of fundamental human rights. So, apil na ni sa ato ang basic human rights, including the right to life, dignity, privacy, and freedom. Because forcing a woman to pregnancy or denying her reproductive choices violates her personal autonomy. And respecting reproductive rights means recognizing women as full and equal human beings who are capable of making informed decisions about their lives. Now, now let's move on to our main discussion, the components of reproductive rights. Um, First is access to family planning. Family planning allows women in couples to decide if and when they want to have children, and this includes the access to contraceptives and fertility treatments. Because family planning helps prevent unplanned pregnancies, reduces health risks, and supports responsible parenthood. And the second one is the access to safe and legal abortion were permitted by law. And in places where abortion is legal, women should be able to access it safely and with proper medical care because this protects women from unsafe and dangerous procedures that can harm their health or take their lives. And the third one is the maternal health care, So maternal health care ensures that women receive proper medical attention during pregnancy, childbirth, and recovery. And this also includes the regular checkups, the skilled health professionals during delivery, and postnatal care. because these services protect both the mother and the baby. And then now let's go to our 4 points. It is sexual education. Sexual education provides individuals with accurate information about reproductive health, the consent, and responsible behavior because it helps prevent sexually transmitted infections, early pregnancies, and misinformation. Lastly, the freedom from discrimination and violence. Women should be free from judgment, abuse, or force when making reproductive decisions. This also includes the protection from sexual violence, forced marriage, and forced pregnancy. So, dapat ang mga babae na sila'y katungod or kagawasan gikan sa mga judgment sa mga tao. Okay? Okay, now let's move on. Move on ta sa challenges and issues. One major challenge is cultural and religious oppositions. So, some traditional beliefs and religious teachings discourage contraception or abortion, which is very common nowadays. Kay kini sila mga tinuuhan sa ubang tao or their own beliefs, their moralities mo na siya mo'y una nga reason sa challenges o issues sa ato ang women's reproductive rights. Well, but also, we all have to remember that while beliefs and while beliefs should be respected, they should not prevent women. They should not prevent women to They should not prevent women, from accessing essential healthcare and informed choices. Now, the another challenge is the lack of access to healthcare services. So, usasad ni siya nga problema nato tungod kay some people or some women lived in rural areas where there were no mga yun ana healthcare services, tamot na itong mga nagpuyo sa bukid. Many women lived far from hospitals or clinics and cannot afford reproductive health and services. So, this is very common sa mga tao nga nagpuyo sa bukid since they are far from the hospital. Mostly jud ani nila kay og mga anak diha ra sa ilahang balay and sa very common instances kay they will bring ka ng maglilot mauna siya mag-help sa pagpanganak and also very common jud ana niya nga ma-problem kung dili doktor ang magpaanak is usahay magdugo og taman nay mga infections tungod kay wala sila'y tarong nga kagamitan og dili sad professionals ang nagahandle sa ilaha during childbirth. Now, the stigma and information are also serious problems. False information about contraception and abortion causes fear and shame, and as a result, many women avoid seeking proper medical health care. Lastly, point is the legal restrictions in some country, including parts of the Philippines. It is So these restrictions reduces women's ability to make decisions about their own body. So naay mga uban nga restriction even in some part of the Philippines where abortions, for example, abortion or kining reproductive service, mga family planning, na siya legal restrictions meaning dili pwede sa ilaha. Also, ana nila kay ilahan na muna ilahang belief, mga ilahang tinuuhan. So, yeah, muna siya. Now, let's move on to the reproductive rights in the Philippines. So, in the Philippines, reproductive rights are supported by responsible parenthood and reproductive. So Act of 2012, also known as the Republic Act 1035-4, this law aims to provide universal access to contraception, fertility control, sexual education, and maternal care. It also promotes informed choice and responsible parenthood. However, despite this law, challenges remain. Why? Because these include local government resistance, limited funding, lack of awareness, and strong cultural influence. So naa sila gina-face nga challenges usa sa akong isulti is local government resistance, limited funding so walay budget, and also lack of awareness. Strong cultural influences ang mga tinuuhan sa mga katigulangan. And these factors affect the full and equal implementation of the reproductive health services. So our the conclusion for this report is that women's reproductive rights are essential for ensuring health, equality, freedom, and dignity. Because protecting these rights help women live healthier lives and make informed decisions and contribute meaningfully to society. The governments, communities, and individuals must work together to ensure that reproductive rights are accessible, protected, and respected. Also, the quote states that protecting women is not just a health issue, it is a human's right issue. Thank you, and I appreciate your attention.
Good day everyone, my name is Shazdi Fua and I will be tackling about the reproductive health laws around the world. So yeah. Reproductive health laws are very different around the world. They include rules about birth control, abortion, care for mothers, and education about sexual health. Many countries consider reproductive rights as part of human rights, meaning people have the right to decide how many children they want and to get the health services they need. However, each country has its own rules. Some allow abortion by choice, others allow it only in special cases such as when the mother's health or life is in danger, while some completely ban it. So basically, reproductive health laws, these are the laws that gives us the right to access the reproductive health care services that we need. And this includes legal access to contraceptives or birth control products. Also, free access in schools kuan sa mga sexual sex education and family planning as well. Next is abortion. So we all know what abortion is, so no need for the definition. But before I continue with my report, I will be sharing our stance on this issue as a group. So a little background, the Philippines is one of the countries who totally ban abortion. So here in the Philippines, no matter what the reason is, or even if the mother's type is a tris or victims of rape, abortion is still illegal. So for us, our stance on that is that we agree that abortion should be banned. However, we also want our country to consider special cases like when the mother's life is at risk, and women, second is women who got pregnant by their abuser, or victims of rape. So for us, in these two special cases, kay necessary jud ang abortion because it's not the women's fault, and it's out of their choice, and they didn't get the freedom to choose. So yeah. Now, let's move on to the countries with highly accessible abortion laws. And I provided 5 countries now. First country is Canada. Legal status, abortion is fully legal in Canada. There is no law that limits it, and it can be done at any stage of pregnancy if a woman chooses. So, in Canada, it is completely legal. So, no matter kanang pila na ka weeks ang pregnancy, even if it goes up to 24 weeks of pregnancy, it can still, abortion is still legal. And there are no penalties. Impact, abortion is part of the healthcare system, but in some remote areas, access may be harder because of fewer clinics. And then, access to contraceptives in Canada, most health services are free, but some types of birth controls like IUDs may cost depending on the insurance plan. Next country is Sweden. So, legal status, women in Sweden can have an abortion for any reasons up to 18 weeks of pregnancy. After 18 weeks, permission is needed from a health authority, and it is usually approved only for serious medical reasons. So, in Sweden, abortion is legal, but nasa limit na up to 18 weeks only. So, after 18 weeks, if only serious medical reasons with permission from a health authority ang legal na mo operate sa abortion. But other than that, if walay permission from the health authority, then the penalties are it carries fines or imprisonment. Impact, Sweden has a very open and fair abortion laws. The country focuses on preventing unwanted pregnancy through sex education and easy access to birth controls. Access to contraceptives, birth control, and counseling are easy to get. Young people under 25 can often get free or cheap birth control. Sex education has been taught in schools since 1955. Next, number 3 is Vietnam. So, legal status, abortion is legal and allowed up to 20 weeks of pregnancy. Women can ask for it without needing a special reasons. So, in Vietnam, abortion is only legal and allowed up to 22 weeks of pregnancy. And women can ask for it, can ask abortion without special reasons, like dili siya kailangan of medical concerns or anything. So, if the woman chooses to abort the baby, then it is legalized in Vietnam. Penalties, only unqualified people who perform abortions illegally are punished. But women who seeks abortion, kay dili ra sila mapunish. Impact, Vietnam has one of the highest abortion rates in the world because many women don't have access to reliable birth control or enough information about it. So, yeah. Access to contraceptive birth control is legal and promoted by the government, but some areas still lack good access or proper guidance on using it effectively. So, accessible in contraceptives and promoted by or supported by government. However, people there lacks wisdom on how to use it effectively. 4 is Uruguay. Like legal status of abortion. Abortion is legal up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. Before the procedure, women must meet with a doctor, a psychologist, and a social worker to talk about their options and wait 5 days before deciding. So in Uruguay, it is only legal up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. And before the abortion, the women or the pregnant women must meet with a doctor, a psychologist, and a social worker to talk to other options if sure na bagid ang women na i-abort ng baby and will wait for 5 days for the final decision. which is for me is a very good thing. And then penalties: abortion performed outside its legal parameters remain illegal. And then Uruguay is one of the few Latin American countries where abortion is legal. This has helped reduce unsafe abortion and women's health safer. And access to contraceptives, birth control is legal and easy to access. The government includes family planning in its national health services to help prevent unwanted pregnancy. Fifth is South Africa. Legal status. Women can have an abortion up to 12 weeks of pregnancy for any reasons. From 13 to 20 weeks, it is only allowed for medical reasons or in cases like rape or danger to the mother's health. And then after 20 weeks, it's allowed only if the mother's life is at risk. So in South Africa, legal abortion is up to 12 weeks of pregnancy, and from 13 to 20 weeks only allowed for some reasons like kanang victim sa rape and kanang mother's life or kanang inahan is in danger. But after 20 weeks, ang allowed na lang is when the mother's life is at risk and dili na appeal ang victim sa rape. And then penalties: people who perform abortion illegally can be punished. South Africa has one of the most open abortion laws in Africa. However, access is sometimes difficult because not all health workers are willing to perform abortions. So yeah. Access to contraceptives, birth control is free in public health centers, and the government encourages family planning to prevent unwanted pregnancies. Next is countries where abortion is illegal. So I also provided 5 countries. First is El Salvador. Abortion law is completely banned. A person cannot get an abortion for any reason, including rape or medical danger. So yeah, it is understandable, so no need to explain further. Punishment: women who have abortion can go to jail for 2 to 8 years. If a woman has a miscarriage or stillbirth and the doctors think it was an abortion, she can be charged with homicide and jailed for up to 40 years. So, grabe ang punishment sa El Salvador. Access to contraceptives, birth control is legal and available. The government provides information and supplies. However, young people may find it hard to get contraceptives because some doctors or pharmacists might ask for parental permission even though the law doesn't explicitly require it. Next is Nicaragua. Abortion law is still completely banned. All abortions are illegal. A change made in 2006. Punishment: women can face up to 2 years in prison, and medical workers who help can get up to 6 years. So that's the punishment. Access to contraceptives are legal and a part of national health plans. Emergency contraceptions like the morning after pill is available to buy in pharmacies without a prescription. Still, many people, especially teenagers, struggle to get them due to lack of education and available services. Number 3 is Honduras. Abortion law completely banned. Abortion is illegal in all situations. So that's their law there. Punishment: both the person having the abortion and the medical staff helping can go to prison. Access to contraceptives, access to standard birth control is legal. In March 2023, the government officially lifted a ban on the emergency contraception pill, making it legal for universal access, especially for survivors of sexual violence. Next is the Philippines, our country. So, abortion law completely banned. The country's constitution and laws make all abortions illegal. So yeah, you heard it right. Illegal, no matter what the reason is. Abortion is still illegal, and it can like, if a Filipina kanang mulabag ani nga batas, it can go to prison or face criminal punishments. So that's it. And the access to most birth control is legal due to the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2012. The law requires the government to provide free access to a wide range of contraceptives. However, the dedicated morning after pill is controversial and often difficult to find in stores, though other oral contraceptives can be used as a replacement method. The last country is Malta. Legal status of abortion: completely banned. Malta is the only country in the European Union where abortion is illegal in all cases. Penalties: women who get an abortion can face up to 3 years in jail. Access to contraceptives: regular birth control is available. Emergency contraception, or the morning after pill, was legalized in 2016 and can be bought from the pharmacies without a prescription for those over 16. However, some pharmacies object to selling it due to personal beliefs, and the government does not cover the cost. So, conclusion: reproductive health laws vary greatly across the world, reflecting cultural, religious, and political differences. In countries like Canada, Sweden, and Uruguay, abortion is treated as a fundamental healthcare right, ensuring safe and accessible services. In contrast, nations such as El Salvador, the Philippines, and Malta maintain total bans, often endangering women's health and rights. Ultimately, access to both abortion and contraception plays a vital role in promoting women's health, equality, and freedom of choice. So that is all. Thank you.